guys aren't American. You don't fucking get it.
You don't fucking get it.
I don't fucking get it either, but still, you don't fucking get it.
Oh, I fucking get it. Okay, I'm gonna take my hat off as I end this show here by saying, join us Monday. This is my national anthem.
Look at that.
Oh, look at his hat's blending into my shirt.
I'm feeling that I need to.
Okay.
Let me get my hair going.
Oh, okay. I'll get my. You look like a troll doll.
I am a troll doll.
Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond and Is This Good Companion Pod, where I catch up with my friend and yours. He's not at home. We'll find out where he is soon. Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for coming, even though you're in international waters. Well, not waters. Well, a lake. It's water.
There's a lake.
And producing the show, hopefully she could still bring the energy now that she's caffeine-free, Rachel Doyle.
Oh, there's caffeine. It's just not like high octane. It looks like swamp water, actually.
Oh, so when you said you're coffee-free, you just mean you mean literally coffee. You are still drinking Red Bull and Mountain Dew.
That's right. And popping gummies, caffeine gummies.
I can't get rid of those. No, this is just green tea.
So then what do you care? Oh, so you're just trying to like get a lower sustained amount of caffeine in your system than a jolt.
Yeah, less jittery.
Now, it's interesting that you chose to do this while JD was gone. Is that because normally you need enough energy while he's there because he's stressing you out? And now that he's gone, you're like, I can just kind of chill.
No, I just, I need to slow my bowel habits down a bit.
Okay, well, fucking 2 seconds into the show.
Jesus Christ. You know, sometimes when we started the show, I said, just... I know you never really talked on a mic before. Just try to be honest. Just be yourself. Maybe dial it back a bit.
Maybe don't be yourself.
So, JD, I know you're in Toronto. Are you in Toronto or outside Toronto?
I'm outside Toronto. I'm in Bowmanville.
Okay, you're in Bowmanville. Mm-hmm. I got to come off the top rope with a story that I think is interesting from my drive home from the Labor Day weekend.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I was in the Eastern Sierras. Basically, we're talking north of Los Angeles, south of Lake Tahoe. Okay. And was there for Labor Day weekend. As you knew last show, I was working in Reno. Jill flew up on Thursday. We spent one night in Reno, which we can get to. Then we drove down. We did a lot of hiking. Like, we did 10 miles a day, basically. And to Monday, it's Labor Day Monday. We're like, okay, let's drive back. We know that we've got all the Labor Day people coming that were driven up from Los Angeles, come back down. We know we got Burning Man traffic coming down on old highway, scenic highway 395. This is a 2-lane highway. At points, it's a 1-lane highway. So we go for a hike in the bristlecone forest. The oldest trees in the world, JD. If I told you that I saw the oldest tree in the world, would you believe me?
I mean, I would have to because you're a man of your word, but... Yeah. Well, how did you know? Like, how do they know it's the oldest tree in the world?
He cut it down and counted the rings.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I didn't say oldest living tree. Well, I was just looking up, like, what can you do around 395? We were staying in this town called Bishop, and everyone said, go see the oldest trees in the world at Bristlecone Pines. And I was like, well, that's just something people say. But I did research. It's a national monument. They say these are the oldest trees in the world. When I got there, there were placards saying these are the oldest trees. Now, there is an oldest tree in the world, but they don't tell you which one it is because they're worried that you're going to go over there and carve in JD plus RD in a heart,
100% I would do that.
Just some light vandalism.
Yeah.
So they don't tell you to prevent that and cutting down things like that. But these are apparently the oldest trees in the world. I still can't believe... In America, nothing old is in America. You know what I mean? That's why it's incongruous to me.
Right.
These should be in India or something.
Now, forgive my ignorance, but the oldest tree in the world, I would assume, is the largest tree in the world because of all the rings, right? Or at least the widest tree. Were they wide?
That's like saying, is the tallest man in the world the oldest man in the world? No, it's actually inverse.
Well, the older you get, the wider you get often.
Yeah, but the taller you are, the shorter you live. Sorry, tall people. This is where we get our advantage finally in life. We get an extra year and a half when we're dying and can't breathe. These are the oldest trees in the world. But that's not the interesting part. So we do the hike. We're driving back. We pass Lone Pine, which is where the gateway into Mount Whitney, the tallest mountain in the lower 48. And we suddenly, the Google Maps is like, turn left. I'm like, I know that's wrong because left is in the opposite direction of where we're trying to go. But I do it anyways. And Jill's in the car with me. I'm like, can you see what's going on here? Because I know this is wrong. She's like, oh, there's an accident up there. So we're going, where are we going? East to then go south to then come back west. So that was 35 minutes of driving just to get around this accident. Then when we finally try to merge back on the highway, huge traffic jam, right? I'm talking 1 hour, bumper to bumper, inching forward just to get back on the highway. So now we're 90 minutes past our, supposed arrival time.
Yeah.
But we're back on the highway. It's all good. And then suddenly I see a cop car speed past me. And I'm like, wonder where he's going. Of course, he's going to the highway where there is another accident. And sure enough, within 10 minutes, we are at a dead stop standstill.
Wow.
Now I see an ambulance come by on the shoulder, another cop car on the shoulder, a tow truck. And I'm like, this is obviously very bad.
Yeah.
So we sit there 30 minutes in bumper to bumper traffic. Like, my car is in park. I know you would want me to shut the engine off, JD. Would you shut the engine off in that scenario?
Probably not, to be honest.
Depends on how hot it was.
Yeah. 101 degrees. How's that
Then,
for you?
No, you would not turn it off unless you had zero gas left.
Anybody getting out of their cars doing the double teapot? Like, what's going on up there?
Oh, 100%. Crane and... You get a lot of people sort of going into the shoulder to like look around the corner, see what you see. But it's just like a dead straight highway at this point, so you can't see much. So now after a half hour here, now we're 2 hours past our arrival time. I see cars passing me on the shoulder, like normal civilian cars.
Okay,
and I'm like,
here we go.
Where are they going? Because what's the thinking here? How are they going to merge back onto this like parking lot of a highway? How are they going to get to the like bypass where the police are and the tow trucks are? And then I notice these cars, which are all like 4-wheel drive, like big tire trucks or SUVs, these kind, or like Jeeps, those kind of things. They're turning right onto a straight up dirt road, and it's just all you see are dust clouds, right? You can't even see the cars.
Mad Max over there.
So I'm like, where the fuck are they going? So again, my car's in park. I open my phone. I look on Google Maps. There is a road that goes off, unnamed road, but then it turns to the right. So it goes north, the opposite direction. But I can see that there's no cars passing me north. So I'm like, where the fuck are they going? There's no road on this map. So then I open Apple Maps and I zoom. Okay, there is a road, completely unmarked road, even thinner on the map than the one that's, going off from the highway.
Okay.
And I'm waiting there. I'm like, Jill, should we follow these cars onto this dirt road? And she's like, absolutely not. And I'm like, but this accident seems big, so maybe we should just do it.
You're in an Elantra, right?
I'm in a Hyundai Elantra. It's as low to the ground as humanly possible. Regular tires, by the way, 2-wheel drive, not even all season tires.
Oof.
The most sedaniest of sedans. And but I'm looking around and I'm like, there are only like 4-wheel drive vehicles on the highway too, because it's, adventure kind of people.
Right.
And then I'm like, I don't know, Jill, I think we're going to be here for a long time. Maybe we should try. She's like, you're going to get stuck on that road, then we're going to be here even longer. And then I'm like, okay, we're going to wait. If we see traffic back up on this dirt road, that means that, up ahead, wherever this fucking road goes, we can't pass, and like that'll be a sign. So then we wait another 15 minutes. People are still passing us on the shoulder going on this road. And then another 15 minutes, and then finally Jill's like, maybe we could try it. And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen a sedan yet. Then, magically, a Tesla pulls onto the shoulder and passes me. I'm like, okay, let's try it. So we go onto the shoulder, turn onto this dirt road. Now, in my head, I'm like, okay, we could do a lot of hiking, and sometimes on the directions, they'll be like, okay, you'll turn here, turn there. Then there's like a quarter of a mile on a dirt road. Just go slowly. You can get through it in any car. But sometimes they'll be like, you need a high clearance vehicle, 4-wheel drive, and we stay away from those. So I'm just like in my head going, okay, just pretend we're going to a hike. This is just a dirt road. You've been on dirt roads before. The rocks are just going like on the bottom of the car. We're just in dust.
Yeah.
And finally, like, we go up. There's like a dilapidated oil derrick rusting in the fucking, like it's like desert and then mountains.
Right.
And then I see, okay, trail, like tire marks here. People have turned left off this thing. So now we're in uncharted territory. We could not see this road from the highway. And I'm just going like very slowly, tuck, 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 tuck. Trucks are coming from behind me. I'm pulling over. I'm like, you go, baby. I'm taking it slow here.
Yeah.
But it's going well. Just like, this was a good idea. I'm glad we did this. I'm like, don't say that yet. You're going to jinx it. We keep driving. Now we see the road goes up a hill. And as I get closer to the hill, I see cars are stopped all the way up the hill. So there's like maybe 10 cars on this hill. Everyone stopped. Then I see they're like little ants, people getting out of the car. Then I see people sprinting up the hill. I'm like, I don't know what this is. This looks bad. I don't know if someone had a heart attack, someone's stuck, but I'm not moving forward because I don't want to get bunched up in this traffic. And Joe's like, okay, turn around. I'm like, turn around? Like, we're on this 1-lane road. Now trucks are coming behind me. So now I'm like kind of boxed in. I'm like, we can't go back, crawling back to the highway. They'll never accept us there.
That's right. We renounced the highway.
We thought we knew better. Everyone that saw us turn off went, what the fuck is that idiot doing in his Hyundai Elantra? If he comes back, don't let him in. So eventually that traffic clears and I'm like, okay, I guess we gotta go forward. So we go, we start trucking up this hill. I'm like, I don't know. Oh, there must have been a bumper accident or something. Like, I don't know why these cars stopped. Then as we get to the top of the hill, I see it, a sand pit. And I'm like, ooh. Okay. And I'm going very slowly. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till every car goes first in case I need to get speed. Chill. Okay. Cause there's a sand trap here. I'm going to veer a bit to the right. Boom. Stuck in the sand pit.
Fuck.
So I like, okay, reverse. The wheels move. I'm like, fucking thank God. I reverse. And then I like try to find a new tack. Boom. Now I'm in the sand pit. Now I cannot move forwards nor backwards. And I'm stuck in the middle of the desert in a sand pit in my Hyundai Elantra.
Oh my God.
So I get out of the car like I know what the fuck I'm doing, right? I'm like, oh, maybe if I put it in neutral and then we put it.
Sure. Yeah.
And just like, what are you doing? First of all, I don't even know how neutral works. I put it in neutral and I open the door to get out and the car starts beeping. Like the message on the screen says, put car in park, put car in park.
Right, yeah.
Is that normal?
I mean, yeah, you don't want to be getting out of your car if it's in neutral and you don't have the parking brake or emergency brake on in general. But you have to put it into neutral to push it. So, yeah, you did the right thing. Right?
People do that, right?
Absolutely.
Right, okay.
But your car's not going to like it.
Right, okay. Well, at this point, I don't get it.
Your car assumes... It sounds like your car is assuming you're an idiot. Like, bro, you're in neutral.
Right, like I just parked at a restaurant or something and I put it in neutral instead of park. It's like, and just like, you put it in neutral, this whole car is going to roll down this hill backwards. And I'm like,
that's
no,
fine.
because I'm going to be pushy. So there's these guys in a truck behind me and when I get out, they're like, I'm like, sorry, I'm stuck in the sand. They're like, yeah. And probably
Obviously.
they were very nice about it, but probably in their head they were like, sir, you ain't built for this, okay?
Yeah.
So they're like, we'll push. And I'm like, oh, neutral? They're like, no. Put it in drive, hit the gas. We're pushing this thing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I pushing on the gas. They're pushing. And at first I see two guys and I'm like, I don't know. I hope this doesn't go backwards. But they push. Boom, we get over the sand trap. We start moving. I start going. I get to a safe spot. I go out. There's like 6 people behind me. I don't know. It's like an Indiana Jones moment where they're like pushing the car, old jalopy, and they're like waving, and he's like waving his hat, and they're like, "You go, Indy, you go." That's what it felt like to me. So
That's great.
Now we're like following the snake path through the desert. We finally see a road. We're like, "Is this it?" Boom, go down. We've bypassed the accident, and for about 15 miles on the highway, I don't see a single other car because everyone is just behind us. Everyone that's gone before us is passed. So it was just like 15 to 20 miles of the only people on the highway.
Wow.
Anyways, every 15 minutes, of course, I was like, Jill, look on Waze, see if there's still an accident there. I need to feel good about the decision that we just made.
Well, and you bonded with some bros. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll never see them again, but we do thank them. And we are sorry that we did what we did. And sorry to my mother, who will probably listen to this and be very upset with me. But we could have died there, Mom. We could have died just waiting there. We took a bold choice, a bold stance. And
it worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah.
It was our, because we had seen earlier that week, we'd gone to Donner Lake where the Donner Party was, camping out when the eating started. And then we drove up to Donner Pass, and we're reading about how when they were going up, not just these mountains, but a lot of mountains, they had to disassemble their wagons and start pulling them up because there were,
Yeah.
Anyways, maybe that was in our heads. Maybe we had the pioneering spirit rolling through us. But we did it, and no regrets,
Good.
I think.
Yeah, because it turned out well. That's why there's no regrets.
I know. So, JD, why are you in Bowmanville?
Yeah, so I drove up here on Friday. I did it in two legs. And basically, it's a little family emergency. My uncle is ill. And it's not looking good, so he decided to throw himself a living wake. So,
and what are the parameters of that? And is this the first one you've been to?
It's the first one I've been to. I would think it was the first one everybody who was at the thing had been to. So it was like being at a party. It was just a little odd because the guest of honor has terminal pancreatic cancer. So,
Jesus.
And he's an uncle of. We're pretty close. I mean, we were close when we were growing up, for sure. So, it was a difficult day, but he's a bit of a character. He's got he's a retired police officer. He kept calling it the Last Supper. He wanted to put chalk body outlines all over as decorations. And it's at my cousin's house who has a pool. He wanted to do the Naked Dead guy in the pool as well, the chalk outline on, there's a sight gag. Anyway, so he was he's got a, very, he's got a sense of humor about it, that's for sure. So
basically this tracked to you, when you heard about it and he said, I want to have a living wake, you weren't wow, that I can't believe he wants to do this.
No, it was more of a, yep, that sounds like Keith. And it was just very last minute because all of this has come on super sudden. His wife died 2 years ago, and I went to visit her in the hospital. She was not doing well, and it was when I left there, I was like, it's probably the last time I'll ever see her. And this time it was still the same, I'm trying to keep positive about it, but it's the guy's lost 60 pounds in a month or something. Jeez. So it's anyway, so I'm grateful for the opportunity to see him again, and it was very nice to see everybody. It's just odd, it's just a weird his kids are just stressed out there, they don't know what to do.
A lot of people have had the thought, oh wow, I wish I could be a ghost at my funeral, or I could wish I could be an observer at my funeral, see who shows up, hear all the nice things people are saying about me. So it's not the first time I've heard of this concept of, hey, instead of saying it when I'm gone and I can't hear how much you love me and will miss me, why don't you say it to my face?
Yeah.
But now, does the wake add any other element to it? Is it are wakes themselves common in your family? Because I've definitely never been to one of those.
I mean, yeah, if somebody dies, we usually have a wake or a get together. There's no speeches. There's no
there was no speeches.
No. It was, and if there had been, it would have been a roast, guaranteed. Just knowing my family and stuff. So yeah, it was just a party that you go to. It was an open house, and we got there. We were an hour into it, and it was fucking packed. So I mean, people got the word. the word got out, and they're basically there to say goodbye, or at least lend their support, and so yeah, it's brutal.
So was there any part of it that was nice, like in the sense of,
totally.
do you, you feel that too, right? Like, or maybe you don't, that, why am I only hearing nice things about me when I'm not there?
Right. Yeah. No, it was great. He was just in the corner reminiscing with his old cop buddies and stuff, and, like just telling stories. There was a lot of laughter. It was a good time. Like, but then there were moments where I'm like, talking to his son, and I'm just like, he's like, this is fucking weird, but also, seemed legit, like moved that the turnout was what it was and all that. So,
right.
Sounds like any other party that Keith and Gail had hosted.
Oh yeah,
what you said.
Exactly right. The only difference is that Keith was not working the grill the whole time, which is normally where he would be. But yeah. So shout out to Keith.
Okay, yeah, shout out to you, Keith, and good health, and I'm glad you had a positive send-off and everyone showed up. So that's it's very nice, but I totally understand. So fucking weird cognitive dissonance, like,
oh, totally.
We're here. We're here to celebrate this person. So we're celebrating. I'm sure people were drinking and doing, like Rachel says, whatever you would at a normal party. But then you're like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting the reason that we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
So not because it's Canada Day or something. It's,
Yeah. I mean, if it is the last time that I see him, it will be the perfect send-off between me and him, because we ended our interaction laughing. We were joking around and laughing, and then it was like, okay, bye, and then that was it. Like, so, I mean, if that's the end, I hope it isn't, but I mean, it might be, and in a way, like it's kind of like that with every person that you in your life. You never know, right? I mean, not to be morbid, it's like
well, but I would say it's the opposite, because I agree with you. Like, if someone passes that and you're like thinking, racking your brain, like, what was that? And you're like, oh yeah, the last time I saw them was this very casual thing, and and I never even said anything to him. This time, and if you do want to say something, you could say something. It's weird if you see someone at a baseball game or a barbecue to just be like, when you're leaving, hey, you know what? I've got a few things I'd like to say to get off my chest and say to you, But it almost makes it appropriate to do that, doesn't it? Or do people kind of feel like, I don't want to bring the mood down?
I mean, I guess, I don't know what... I know him, and I know he wouldn't want me to, like, bare my soul and how upset I am that he's, going through this and all of that. Like, he would not want me to do that, so I didn't. And I wouldn't want to do it either. So it's just like, if you have something to say to somebody, fucking say it. Because you just don't know. Like, this illness came upon him, like, all of a sudden. And my aunt, the woman I was talking about before, Gail, she went through horrific health problems. She had a double lung transplant, and she lasted for 10 years, and she got cancer in her throat. But what happened to her was, like, all of a sudden, she could not eat. They wouldn't let her eat because of the cancer in her throat, and they just wouldn't let her swallow anything. So she was on a feeding tube, which ended up, and it was always like, okay, well, we just got to get through this, but they couldn't really treat the cancer because of the lung transplant. And then, she's like, she didn't know her last meal was her last meal. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, and then she lasted for another 6 months, and she was just like, I just want to get out of here so I can have a glass of wine and a piece of fruit or something. and she never did. So enjoy all your glasses of wine and everything, because you just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Not to bring it down, guys. Let's bring it back.
Well, I had some shitty leftover fried rice last night. I sure hope that's not my last dinner.
I hope so too.
Am I supposed to be asking you, Rachel, why you're wearing a glove, or are you always wearing a glove and I just don't see your hands?
I took it off because I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be this weird. Have you ever used these? I know it sounds really like a stupid question. It's a cutting glove.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it's like chainmail?
Well, it's not even. It just feels kind of like firm knit material.
Like oyster shuckers wear them, kind of?
Yeah. Lincoln had to wear them when he was working at Panera, but I just got them in the mail today because Jackson has started sewing, and my mother's like, oh my God, you got to get him a cutting glove. If he's going to use that rotary cutter, he'll cut the ends of his finger right off. I'm like, whoa, okay. Safety.
So what is a rotary cutter, like on the sewing machine?
Well, no, it's like
by the way, this is really nice. JD can catch up with what's happening at home.
That's true.
Jay's like, oh, I had no idea. We got a singer in the house now?
Yes, we do. And it's a rotary blade. It's like a little circular blade, and you go. And I was using it forever with mat boards for paintings and such. Mm-hmm. And I cut the tip of my thumb off once.
Yeah.
So I can't believe I didn't cut myself with that. So maybe I'll start using them too. It's a pack of 4.
Again, why
are you wearing it now?
Oh, it just came in, and I was going to ask Matt if he has ever used one. Oh. And I was trying it on.
Glad I got to that riveting question before you asked it. I thought it does look from the shitty video quality that we have here. It looks like the Michael Jackson glove, does it?
Yeah,
not?
Totally.
It looks sparkly and white.
It feels that sexy? No, it's not sparkly. It's like mottled gray, different.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Very
Good.
Cool.
Glad you're safety first when you click on the mouse. Now, normally you click on the mouse as a like fidget spinner kind of anxiety tool, and that screws up the window panes, and then you got to go back in and edit that out. So maybe this is going to prevent you from touching it.
Because I'll be so busy looking at my hand.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. Okay.
Well, I overcame a fear, JD, when I was in Reno.
Okay,
and I think, remember we talked last time when we were in Vegas. I don't know if I said this to you, but I said it to Jill. I was like, we went to Vegas in July. We knew we were going to Reno in end of August, September. Mm-hmm. And I was like, between now and then, let's learn how to play craps, because it's the only game that looks like actual fun to me.
Right.
The problem is it's complicated and someone's rolling and there's usually a crowd around the table and it's hard to figure out what the hell is going on, and the guy's rolling a 7, everyone cheers, and he rolls a 7 again, everyone's booing. I mean, well, that part I knew, but I was just explaining for dramatic effect.
Right. Craps is the most intimidating of casino games outside of, like, poker, right?
Yeah, poker is hard because it's complicated, I think. Like blackjack's a card game, but it's pretty easy to. When I was in Reno. Remember, I explained to you, like, if you sit down at the bar where there's a terminal, as long as you sit down, you will just get free. You can just order free drinks. Mm-hmm. So I'd always put like $20 into the machine, and I just Googled like rules for blackjack, and there's only like basically 5 rules. It's like 17 or above, stay. Mm-hmm. If you have 12 to 16. Hit if your opponent's card is 9 or lower, or 8 or lower, I forget which one.
Right.
Double down on whatever, and don't split these numbers, split these numbers.
Right.
Those are pretty much the only rules. So I just like screen captured those, and I would just had my phone in front of me, and I would just tell, like, whatever it would do, I would just do it.
Right.
Didn't win. It's not a recipe for winning, because sometimes, when you've got a 13 against a 5, you're supposed to stay.
Right.
But sometimes you can hit,
Yeah. Well, it's a recipe for not getting yelled at by other players, right?
Mm-hmm. But there were no other players in this case.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, there was not a big crowd around the craps table, and I kind of heard there's like 3 croupiers at this table. And I heard one of them talking, and he seemed friendly, and he was explaining something to someone. So I kind of siled up, and I was like, oh, hey, like, can I ask you kind of as I go what's going on here? And he was like, yeah, sure. I was like, perfect opportunity to lose some money here, but learn in the process.
Learn, yes. It's worth it.
So we're doing bets. This guy's rolling. This guy goes on a streak. Like, I don't know, 17 rolls in a row without, crapping out.
Wow.
I basically like tripled my money in, I don't know, 20 minutes or something. It was insane.
So what are you betting?
So I'm betting in the pass line.
Okay.
Which basically means once the point is set, so like, let's say the guy rolls an 8 to start. Now the point is 8. So if he hits 8 again and you're on the pass line, you get money. Right. But the thing I was betting on was, I forget what it's called, like the field maybe. And it's basically if the guy rolls 2, 3, 5. Don't take these numbers as gospel. It's not all the numbers, but it's like 2, 3, 5, 8, 12. Mm-hmm. You get double your money. But if it's 2, so in other words 1 and 1, you get double. Maybe double that, and if it's 12, 6 and 6, you get triple that. And he hit like 3 double sixes when we were in that space. Anyway, it was fun. Then it came to me, and I told you one time in Vegas, I rolled the dice. I rolled them off the table 3 times. Mm-hmm. The person scowled at me till I said, "Okay, I think I'm done here. I'm not doing it again. I've never done it since." And I rolled them this time much better at it.
Okay, great.
And I didn't lose. So very successful craps run. So highly recommend.
Congrats.
Then, of course, I said, okay, I'm ready to cash these in. They said, okay, you need to color up, put them all on the table. So I just dumped them all on the table. It was a lot of chips because they were only $5 tokens.
Right. Yeah.
And I had like 300 or something.
Damn.
And so I just dumped them on the table haphazardly. And the guy goes, okay, roll. And I was like, no. Like,
oh my
and
God.
all 3 croupiers start dying laughing. They're like, we do that all the time. Always gets a jolt out of people.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was a craps great success.
Nice. Congrats.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now here's something else I did for the first time, or not for the first time, but overcome a fear. Remember how we always talk about how it annoys me when people are talking at a concert, like not just like whispering in between songs, but just having a full-on conversation like we're having now.
Yeah. Did you shush someone?
I shushed someone. Yeah.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was great, and it worked because they left.
Wow.
Oh.
Can you recreate the shush?
Well, no, I used my words.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
what did
more
you say?
effective than a shush.
So we were there's a very big museum in LA called the Getty Museum. Mm-hmm. And they do a concert series in the summer. The tickets are free, but you have to reserve them. Mm-hmm. And it's outdoors. So we get there and people are milling around, so people don't really care about the band. The band's called Woods, a band I like. I don't know them that well, but I like them. So I was like, let's just go. It's free. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I have a longer leash at a free concert that's outdoors because no one paid and I didn't pay. So I'm like, people are talking, fine. But these people were having a full-on conversation. So I said to Jill, there's room further up. Let's just walk further up. I don't want to shush them.
Yeah.
So we move further up, enjoying the show. Beautiful night outside. And then I hear the same people again. I'm like, how fucking loud are they talking? Turn around. They've moved up with us.
They followed you.
They followed me.
You blazed a trail for them.
I blazed a trail. It sounded like they were on a date, to be honest, because they were just full on like, oh, 3 brothers? Oh, Michigan? Like, yeah,
God,
full on just regular date conversation. So I'm like, it's driving me nuts now. And I'm like, oh, Jill, I'm going to have to say something. She's like, okay, if you feel like you have to say something, go ahead. So I turned around and I said,
was that like insinuating, I got your back, dear? Like,
No, I think it was like, this doesn't bother me at all. Why does this bother you?
Right. Right. Okay, you do you.
Try to have a good time. I say, no, I will not try to have a good time.
Yeah.
I will let this ruin my night instead. Mm-hmm. So I just turned around and I said, excuse me. And they both look up at me and I go, would you mind whispering? And the woman goes, oh, what? I said, whispering. She's like, what? Like, and she wasn't doing a bit. I think she really couldn't hear me. And I was like, whispering. She's like, oh, whispering. And she looked at me like a big fuck you face, right?
Like, really? Like that?
Yeah, really?
Like, yeah.
Free concert outdoor at the Getty. It's a museum. You shouldn't be talking anywhere in a museum.
And you're not that interesting that everyone wants to hear this shit.
No one wants to hear it. Anyways, I was worried that the whole show they were going to be staring in the back of my head or whispering like loudly to piss me off. Like, oh, you work in IT? That's so interesting. But then I turned around, gone. They were gone. Wow. They were like, well, we don't want to stop talking. So they moved to the back, which is perfect.
Nice.
If you want to talk, move away from everyone else.
Effective.
100%. Maybe you expedited the process of them, fucking, right? It's like, you know what? Maybe he's right. Let's get out of here.
They just used hand signals.
Bonded in their hatred of me. The date wasn't going that well, and then there was like, can you believe that guy at a free show and outdoors? And then they were like, yeah, I hate people like that. I like to be inconsiderate. And she was like, I love being inconsiderate too. And he's like, oh, you're an asshole? She's like, yeah, I'm an asshole. You don't care about other people? I don't care about other people. And now they're like, they're a couple.
Yeah. And that's all thanks to you.
You were Cupid.
Thanks to me. Whoa,
shot that arrow right in their little cheeks.
Rachel, aside from your glove, is there something I'm supposed to be asking you about?
Oh. Well, I mean, I could tell you a realization I came to that made me feel like a bit of a dickhead. But okay. I didn't expect you to ask about that.
No, I swear to God, I thought before the show you were saying to JD, like, oh, should I say this thing? Or was it about the glove?
No, I think I was freaking him out because I was getting weird with it.
Okay. He's like, honey, you have 4 days to take off the glove before I get home, so just enjoy wearing it.
Wash it too, please.
Why don't we wear a glove on both hands so that it's like swinging with the heavy bat, so that by the time JD comes home, the gloves are off, but you still feel the weight of them.
Yes.
Right. I'll have like really strong forearms. I can do anything.
Yeah. Is that the realization you came to? That gloves are a great workout?
Yes. I'm amazing. So we got both of our cars tuned up before he hit the road. And I asked, Jason inquired if, could you check out the indicator on the car because it's going double time. And they were like, oh, yeah, that means it's out. Your indicator is out. And about 6 to 9 months ago, I can't say when exactly, it was clicking double time. And Jason asked Lincoln to tell him, oh, is the back indicator out? Take a look. And Lincoln said, no, it's not out. So we've been driving for 6 to 9 months, not fucking indicating when we turn left. And I am the first to curse out people when they don't use their indicator. Yeah. And I've been unknowingly just going into the left-hand lane and turning left like the asshole I think other people are. And I'm like, shit, well, all right.
And did you get honked at during that 6 to 9 months and be like, why are people honking at me?
You must have. I definitely did. I'm like, okay.
And then the guy they forgot to do it. They forgot to fix the indicator. So I'm still like.
Oh, so now you know that you're an asshole.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, fuck. Now I've got to find another time to take the car.
Well, what the hell was Lincoln doing? Like, what was he looking at and said it was fine?
Well, you have a disability where you don't know your right from your left. Maybe he was looking at the right-hand signal. Maybe he's got your issue.
Well, there's color blindness. Maybe he has blinking blindness. Like, he goes to a club, the strobe light's going off, and everyone's going like this. And he's like, why is everyone doing that? I just see regular. Oh, Rachel, you just reminded me of something. At the Donner Museum, there was a panel where they discussed how one of the guys in the party, as he was pioneering from east to the west, was trying to figure out how far they were going. And he figured out this system where he could track how many times, and gear heads, I'm sorry, I'm going to screw this up, but like the wheel went around the axle or something of the wagon. Okay. So like every time it ticked up, that it would make anyways, they had some way of tracking, like anytime the wheel made X number of rotations, and then he could figure out how far he went, and he called it a roadometer.
Oh, okay.
Now, I didn't look this up because I just remembering now, but remember we were arguing about if speedometer is speed-o-meter, could odometer be road meter? Road-ode? Huh? We have something here?
Nice.
Yeah, I think
good
you're onto
memory.
Something.
But why did they drop the R? That's what I can't figure out.
Too much work.
Roadometer would be fine.
Yeah, I guess. True. Yeah.
I'll look it up and tell you next time.
One more thing I noticed. Somebody did a 1-star whoopsie because they did a good review, but then they gave a 1-star
Oh,
on the
no.
podcast. I'm like, oh, that's tragic because it was a nice review.
I told you to stay out of the reviews, Rachel.
I know. I'm going to from now on because there's some people don't like my my idiosyncrasies.
And the bummer is we can't do anything about it. We can't take it down. That person, even if we could email that person, they can't. So we'll have to start a whole new podcast and a whole new feed. This is like when there's a spider in your house and you burn the whole thing down.
Yeah. Maybe not a good idea.
Well, speaking of leaving a review, if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/isthisgood. You'll get ad-free episodes. You'll get access to our thriving community on Discords. You get an exclusive episode, comes out every month. And you can send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, but only if your fingers are slim, okay? If you got big, girthy fatties if you're trying to hit the 5 and you hit the 1, were you trying to press with all 4 of your fingers? What did you even do there?
Well, they
Can
tried.
I tell you something about my brother? I had dinner with him last night, and he was yelling at me about how hard it is to leave a review because I think he went to do it, and I'm like, it's not hard to leave a review. He's like, do it then. I could not figure out how to leave a review on a podcast in Apple Podcasts.
Would you have given it 5 stars?
Yeah, well, of course. Well, I would hope so.
Okay, now I'm going to try to do it.
Try.
Maybe we've been telling people to do it and they're all trying.
Yeah, that's just so fucking. It's
they're
not
pissed off after.
It's not easy.
Okay, so I'm going into the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm clicking on ratings and reviews.
Okay, I guess you found it quickly. I
Hold
couldn't
on,
find
write
it.
a review. What are you talking about? That took me 1 second.
I could not find it.
Well, okay. So you still don't know where it is?
Yeah, I found it this morning. I had a few drinks last night. I will
Okay, yeah, Rachel, I just saw the one you were... See, I stay... I love Is This Good? Matt and JD have great chemistry. Sorry if there's an insult about you in this, Rachel, but I'm just
not
reading it
that
for
one.
the first time. Banter, fun discussions. Conversations are always engaging and entertaining. If you're looking for a podcast that will make you laugh, listen now. 6 exclamation points, 1 star.
Whoopsie, it's a 1-star whoopsie.
Hey,
Maybe
a
this guy is
star.
from the Lee Ellis School. You know, whenever Lee'd be like, I'm gonna do a top 5 list, and then we're like, okay, cool, and then he'd start number 1, and we're like, okay, are you starting at the top, or do you think 5 is the best in yours? And he'd be like, no, what? I'll just start number 1. Like, no, you got to count up. You got to start at 5, 4, 3, 2. Maybe this person's from the same philosophy.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
Maybe.
I wanted to do a quick follow-up from last week's show where we talked about 90s slang. And you told us about the Black & Decker pecker wrecker.
Yeah, I can't believe a lot of people had never heard that before. I was surprised by that.
I'm not surprised. Well, number one, I think our audience is a little younger, but still,
Yeah.
I think that could be an Ontario classic.
Right. And just so you know, the person that I heard it from was my girlfriend who had braces. She referred to her braces as the Black & Decker pecker wrecker.
Do you think she was trying to get ahead of you asking for that?
You don't want this. You don't want this.
But then she'd need to come up with an excuse for her hands. Oh, she's wearing the Rachel glove.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's spikes on these.
Okay, so we talked about 90s slang, and there was one that we could not figure out, and it was Norville. And the definition of it in the thing was to secretly undermine something. So if you remember, it had people acting out these 90s slangs from a local news broadcast in the 90s. So the example was, I can't believe she stole your job. You've really been Norvilled. And JD had no idea what it was. Rachel had no idea what it was. I had no idea. Rachel was furiously trying to Google it during the show.
Yes.
Couldn't figure it out. Then after, I found out that Shaggy from Scooby-Doo's real name is Norville Rogers.
Okay.
So then I was thinking, but he doesn't undermine anyone, Shaggy. Like,
No.
if anything, he's stupid. He would be the one that would be undermined or tricked or whatever. So
Yes.
I couldn't figure it out. But as a quick side note, this made me realize that Shaggy is the fail son of rich parents, right? Like, you got to be rich to name your kid Norville Rogers. That's a rich person's name, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially back then, for sure.
And they wanted Norville to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, clearly, and he tuned in, turned on, and dropped out and became a hippie, right? This is his origin story.
I would say, yeah, that sounds about right.
Because Fred and Daphne are really posh, right? Velma too.
You're right.
He's probably going to a private school. And they're all like, oh, shit, I hope I don't end up with Norville in the group project.
Yeah. Who's Norville? Shaggy.
Shaggy. Well, okay, so then I decided to go to the Wikipedia page for Norville Shaggy Rogers just to see if it specifically said who his parents were. Found out a few interesting things. He's from Coolsville, Ohio.
Oh.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. Now, these are facts they're from Wikipedia, but it says they're sourced from the Scooby-Doo series Behind the Scenes, which was a series of shorts from 1998. So apparently this is canon. His original nickname was Buzz because he had a buzz cut.
Oh, sure. Buzz cut.
Isn't that funny? He's always named after his haircut. He is Shaggy, but he was Buzz.
Oh. I thought it was because he was buzzed all the time on Scooby Snacks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point, too. Shaggy is not skinny because Scooby is always stealing his food, but rather because he is vegetarian.
What are you reading this from? What is happening right now?
But first of all, did you ever put together that Shaggy might be skinny because Scooby's always stealing his food? That never occurred to me.
No.
Are you high? I'm just...
No, he's high, Rachel. He's high. Okay. But, vegetarians, they don't have to be skinny. Let me just...
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Now, this is a weird one. Shaggy claims to have the largest collection of decorator belt buckles in the world, currently owning 653. He also states that he wears a different belt buckle for every mystery if one pays attention. But you see, JD, that's a joke. Do you get the joke? The joke is that he wears a baggy shirt and you can't ever see his belt buckle.
Right.
This is genius stuff.
What are you reading this from?
I just told you.
Wikipedia?
No, Richardpedia. Do you not hear me? Richardpedia.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm freaking out.
Okay, now. Yes, it's for Wikipedia, but it's sourced from canon. You know, JD, like Star Wars, Clone Wars, the cartoon?
Sure.
That's canon,
absolutely.
Is it not?
I'm too scared to say because I don't actually know. And you know how they come after us.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyways.
Oh my goodness. We're rewatching Lord of the Rings, speaking of canon.
Yeah.
And we're watching, is it the second one? Yeah, the second one when the orcs have to go get the hobbits, the halflings. And Saruman says to the orcs, bring back the halflings, alive and unspoiled. And Lincoln looks at me and goes, does that mean don't rape the hobbits?
What do you have to bring that up every single show? A part of my brain was like, she's going to say that. But then I was like, she's talking about Lord of the Rings. How could she... Okay, well, at least you're watching it so that if it comes up in the next month, it'll be fresh in your memory.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I saw Ian McKellen said that he was open to reprising his role if they were going to do new ones.
Oh, I thought you were going to say on Coronation Street.
Ian McKellen's in Coronation Street?
Yeah, I mentioned that on the Emma show.
Oh, I must have tuned out during that.
You tuned out when we were talking cores? Typical.
Yeah, I said I can't contribute to this. I'm just tuning out. Anyways, I Googled it, found out what Norville actually means. But I'm going to and give credit to an emailer here. Toronto Tips emailed in. I believe the etymology of Norville comes from the controversial replacement of Jane Pauley as the host of the Today Show by Deborah Norville. So I read up on it. I sort of forget, but Jane Pauley was a widely loved Today Show host, and then people's perception was that Deborah Norville, who worked on the show, kind of like stabbed her in the back and took her job.
Right.
So this person continues, I agree with the assessment this was not used as slang in the 90s, but if I remember correctly, these terms you were reading came from a TikTok of a local news broadcast, and so maybe it was widely used slang in the media industry, and reporters incorrectly assumed this inside baseball reference was understood by the broader culture. I would argue that they didn't. I mean, maybe they used it, but I think they would know if it was widely used.
Right, yeah.
But so there you go. A news term from a very niche event that happened 30-something years ago.
Yeah.
Is 90 slang, apparently, but it's not. So, Deborah Norville, we salute you?
Yes, we salute Deborah, of course.
One more thing I wanted to say. When we were in the Eastern Sierras, there happened to be a county fair going on.
Yeah.
So we went. The night we go, just my luck, it's the Demolition Derby. Have you ever seen a Demolition Derby?
Not live. I'd love to, though.
Yeah, it's overrated. Unless this was a bad one, I have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
But they kind of just... They don't really want to cause maximum carnage. You know?
Right.
It's not like I was, I guess, expecting like a monster truck to drive over them all, and then Joel's like, "You idiot. Okay, that's a monster truck rally. This is a demolition." She's from a farming town, so she knows all about this. Yeah. But I was like, "Oh, when's Grave Digger coming out?" That's not this. Instead, this is like townsfolk, putting $20 each to get a beater running, and then they break all the glass so the glass doesn't break. Mm-hmm. They send a guy with a helmet. He's probably drunk. They wet the ground, which I didn't really realize, to make it harder to maneuver.
Oh.
And this is a rule. You're not allowed to smash anyone on the driver's side.
Huh.
Okay, well, they don't want anyone to die.
I know, but now it's just like
now
people circling each other.
Right.
Trying to get to the other side. And then and so they're kind of like just chasing each other around. And as soon as they hit one car, the cars get kind of like stuck together. And because they're so shitty, they can't move.
Yeah.
So basically within the first 5 seconds, 6 of the cars, or like 5 of the cars stop working. And then one car is just driving in a circle with another car chasing it until the horn goes off. But the guy, when you have a new sport at the Olympics and you're watching it, the announcers are going to explain to you what's happening, right? There's 6 heats and the winner with 2 winners for me. The guy wasn't explaining anything to me. I was forced to put the pieces together myself, JD.
Yeah, well, it's a live sporting event. You don't have somebody explaining the rules of basketball on the PA announcer,
Yeah, there's
those people who are
dribbling. Dribbling. But would it be so bad if because there was an announcer talking, like basically a rodeo clown in a Guy Fieri Flames shirt. Okay. And he was just doing bits the whole time. Like he was like, any women want to do this next year? And, from the crowd's like, woo! And he goes, well, I seen y'all driving around the Vaughn's parking lot, and you could do it.
Dang.
Dang, Rachel, you know what that means. Women can't drive, and you do a demolition derby in the parking lot without even trying.
Look, I have a lot of marks on the Matrix, but to be fair, I was sleep deprived and the kids were babies. It was all from underground parking. I was like a demolition derby driving out of there. I was hitting the posts half asleep.
Yeah.
Well, at least I know how that works. You hit cars in a parking lot and drive away without leaving a note on them.
It wasn't cars that I was hitting the poles.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't hit a car and then be like, okay, see ya, sucker.
All right, my basic point is that why couldn't the guy say, all right, what you're about to see is 6 heats. Each heat is a specialized
yeah, you're right.
With because the first one is small cars, the next one was all like station wagons, then one was like all modded cars. Now, they're gonna go the any car that's still driving when the horn sounds is going to advance to the final heat when they'll all go. Just explain it to me a bit.
You're making it more sophisticated than it needs to be. It's just boom, boom, smash.
No,
yeah, but that's my point, Rachel. It's not boom, boom, smash.
Yeah.
If it was smashing, constant smashing and carnage, that would have distracted me from not knowing what I was watching. But I was a little bored just watching the cars wheel around.
Well, you watch too much Fast and Furious movies. It's not realistic.
You think
much
Dom
excitement.
would ever risk his car being smashed up. You think his car is shitty enough to be in a demolition derby? May the ghost of Vin Diesel come to your house and slap you with that glove you're wearing.
Oh my God, is he dead? Did I miss something?
No, Vin Diesel's alive. And even if he did die in the movies, he would come back in the next one like they all do. Don't worry. One final observation from the county fair. So they played the anthem before the cars did start doing the smashy smashies.
Okay.
I was waiting in line for beer, and everybody stopped moving. Like, if people were walking, they stopped where they were. The person that was doing the beer stopped. Everyone stopped. Like, no, I'm not an idiot. I've been to sporting events before. If you're standing in your seat, if you're sitting in your seat, sure, you stand up. Yeah. You want to go the extra mile, you take your hat off, you place it over your heart. Mm-hmm. But if you're in the concourse, do you stop walking to your seat?
No.
No. Would you take your hat off for an anthem?
Small towns have more respect, Matt.
I've done it once. Where was I? It was at like a soccer game or something. The anthem was played, and I noticed halfway through that mostly everybody had taken off their hat. So then I sheepishly was like, I took my hat off.
I mean, I wasn't wearing a hat. I would have just out of peer pressure, but I've never seen basically people play like freeze tag with the national anthem. Anyways,
I'd see people like putting their hand over their heart, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's a little too like swearing on a Bible. Like it has a religious undertone.
Well, you guys aren't American. You don't fucking get it.
You don't fucking get it.
I don't fucking get it either, but still, you don't fucking get it.
Oh, I fucking get it. Okay, I'm gonna take my hat off as I end the show here by saying, join us Monday. This is my national anthem.
Look at that.
Oh, look at his hat's blending into my shirt.
I'm feeling that I need to.
Okay.
Let me get my hair going.
Oh, okay. I'll get my. You look like a troll doll.
I am a troll doll.
Join us Monday for a new episode of Is This Good? Oh, this one's a banger. Okay, like we said last time, we had pre-recorded this one, so I can tell you it's a banger. It's Peter Sawkins.
Yes.
The winner of the Great British Bake Off.
Oh my God, guys.
And Peter is just a delight. He won, I don't know, it's hard to say what season because it's different in the UK to here.
I think it was 11 or 12. It was 2020 when he won.
Okay, so Great British Bake Off winner, the youngest winner ever. Peter Sawkins is the youngest winner ever. Yes, he has shaken Paul Hollywood's hands. Yes, he's chatted with Prue and Noel Fielding from Mighty Boosh. Okay, he's given us all the tea, all the dirt. Mm-hmm. And this one got testy because I had some opinions about desserts, and Peter had some opinions about desserts. And let's just say
he did
that we did not agree on a lot of desserts. So tune in for that one. It's different than a lot of episodes. I think people will enjoy it.
I think so too.
And that's basically it. I already told you where you could email me. isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Put your hands over your hearts if you're listening, please.
Put on your glove, Rachel.
Oh.
JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Oh.